specific group that it attaches to. It doesn't have a specific religion either. And it doesn't matter the sex as well too. So I treat people from all walks of life for nation, and one of the things that always calls my attention is how is it that we got there? How is it that we come to the point when one of us, ends up being hooked in something that is so easy to get hooked on, but so hard to get rid of? Lifelong recovery, that's what we call it. When we treat these patients, they actually have to be treated for life. You don't recover and you're done. It's a process, and we tell that to the patients. This is something you're going to be dealing with the rest of your life. Trust me. Because I see patients that have been doing well for 10 years and they fall again. It's so hard. And one of the things that I've been studying through the years is like, how is it that we get to that point? How do we as humans, get into getting hooked with something like this and not being able to shake it off? So we'll look a little bit about that. One of the things I have worked in my own family to try to prevent my own family from doing that. We pray about it every day. My oldest one is 27, doing his third year of his PhD in philosophy in Maryland. My younger one is 20. She's at Wayne now, trying to be a psychologist interested in neuroscience, because she wants to also try to help people that have the problem with drugs and addictions. She's interested in that. And one of the things I have seen through my patients, and we talk to the patients throughout the years, is the difference that the home environment makes. That makes a huge impact. Really, a lot of these patients, we call it, were doomed from the beginning. And there's one parameter that we use when we talk to them, and I ask them about this. We call them ACEs. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see, this one works better. Can you see this? Yeah. So we call it ACEs. ACEs is actually adverse childhood events. What happened in that child, or that person that has a problem with the person that's using drugs, what happened to them early on that predisposed them to actually get hooked on drugs and now have this problem for the rest of their life? And when we talk to adverse childhood events, this is the rule. If you have 2 childhood events or less, there's a pretty good chance we're probably going to be able to help you to recover. There's a good chance. If you had anything between 3 to 4 childhood events, we are looking at it's going to be a little bit hard. It's going to be probably difficult. You're probably going to be somebody that's going to be on medication for the rest of your life. You're going to have a life coach. You're going to have somebody that is with you to help you to stay in recovery. The sad thing is this, though. Anybody that has 5 or more childhood events is usually someone you're probably not going to be able to help. It's sad, but it happens. I have a majority of the patients I treat that have had 7, 8. I had a patient that had 11 childhood events. This is a gentleman that he had really no way out of this. If he has not committed suicide by now, he's going to be a problem with drugs. And talking to him, and talking to my patients, we're seeing, I think there's 3 basic things that I think we can kind of work as parents at home to try to see that we can help our children, to have them in the mindset that is something that, they might decide not to even think about it in the long run. And one of the things, that I've learned in talking to them is this. Is the 90-10 rule. Now, don't believe me, okay? This is all made up because this is what I'm seeing. I didn't write a book. I didn't do research. This is what I see. And this is 3 things that me and my wife decided to do at home when we decided to say to have kids. three things we wanted to help our kids as they grow up. My wife is a nurse. We both studied as respiratory therapist, and then I went to medical school. So we knew some about the medical field. We got involved in drug addiction, and seeing that, there was three things we want to do at home to help our kids. So hopefully they would not choose. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. But one of the things I realized early on is that based on my upbringing, and let me tell you a little bit about my upbringing, okay? My mother found out I did something wrong. I couldn't talk to her because she would not let me. I was smacked. Why? Because you did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Don't talk back to me. Okay? I was on the other side. I will talk to my dad. What did you do? That was the first thing he would ask me. I don't know. I just got in trouble. I got smacked because I did something wrong. So he'll ask me what I did, what I thought I did wrong. And then he tells me usually a phrase. My dad wasn't much of a talker. But he used to tell me certain rules that he showed me by just giving me his little phrases. And one of the things he said, never say something that people can wrap around your neck. Never say something that people can wrap around your neck. That's where I got in trouble, because I was a big mouth. And that's all he said to me. So I go to my mom, I get smacked. I go to my dad, he tells me never say something that people can wrap around your neck. That's how I grew up. I used to get in trouble for things I didn't even know about. And I used to get smacked. And I never got a reason why. But I would go to my dad, and he would give me one of his famous phrases. And I would used to think he was nuts. I'll say, what does he say? I don't understand what he's saying. One of his phrases was to me too, is he goes, there's no doubt to me that the bigger the mouth, the smaller the brain. That's what he used to tell me. I used to talk a lot. When I was an adolescent, I argued with everybody, right? I knew better than anybody. And that's all he told me. I tell you, it didn't take 2 or 3 weeks before I started shutting up. That's what he said. The bigger the mouth, usually the smaller the brain. And one day he got tired with me, when I was having my first child. And I remember he said, there's one thing you just got to remember. How many legs you got? 2. How many arms you have? 2. How many ears you got? 2. How many eyes? 2. Isn't it interesting that we only have one mouth? I was about to have my first child. And I learned from that the 90-10 rule. Guess, does anyone want to take a guess what it is? What is the 90? And this is about your kids, or my kids. That's what I learned. My kids are going to do 90% of what I do, and 10% of what I say. It doesn't matter if I tell them to quit smoking if I have a cigarette in my mouth. Good chance that my kids are going to smoke. Right? It doesn't matter how many times I tell them, like my uncle, I was just talking about that, but when somebody said it was really interesting because my uncle would always tell us that, do not smoke. This thing will kill you. Really bad for you. I guess that helped us a lot, but we never smoked because I got caught trying to, and I beat up until the next day. So I never touched a cigarette after that. But, it's one thing that I would really like to pass on to you. And it's the fact that, yes, it doesn't matter really how much we talk. Most of my kids, before I got, they do stuff like I do, and sometimes I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm like, But who is at fault? It was me, right? I should have changed that. I should have changed the way I was doing that. I shouldn't have done it that way. And I learned that. It's just, really makes an impact, not how much I talk, it's how much I do. And I have to show, right, as a parent, I have to model what I wanted or how I wanted to be. This is my first role. Our second role was no physical punishment. My wife and I sat down and we talked. How are we going to raise these kids? What are we going to do? My wife grew up in a house where they were never beat up. Nobody touched nobody. Nor her dad, nor her mom ever put a hand on their kids. I grew up in a household where my dad didn't, but my mom did pretty much every other day. And I learned that I didn't really help me to do really anything. One thing I know that up until now, my dad is 94 years old. My mom is 87. If I have an issue and I want to discuss with somebody, guess who I go to? My mom or my dad? I go to my dad. My dad knows more about me than my mom because I couldn't talk to her. You should have done this. You should have not done that. I couldn't talk. And I said, I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm going to let them talk. I'm going to ask them to please talk to me. Okay? And that's been our rule from the beginning when we had our first child. Not to put our hands on our kids. If I'm going to tell somebody that I love them, how can I do that when I smile at them across the face? How do I show love? So we have been hands off. And I tell you, I think, we're kind of happy about the results so far. It's still ongoing. Our youngest one's 20. We're done with the other 3. We got 1 left. But we just had an interesting conversation. I had a good evidence of how good we done or bad. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying. None of us went to university to be a parent, right? There's no degrees for that stuff. It was best. It was a lot easier. I just studied hard, passed the boards, and I was like, hey, I got a license. I can actually kill someone, even I don't know anything. Oh my God. But I don't even know how to raise a child. And I asked pediatrics. You asked me something about pediatrics. I can tell you. Anything there is to know. But raising a child, that's a completely different ballgame. So we're making it as we go. But one of the things that they love is the fact that in 2018, I was on my conference, family medicine conference in New Orleans. Friday night, my phone rings. Guess what? It's my daughter. She's 17 at that time, and she's crying. She is crying her eyes out. Well, I knew she had a crush on a boy in high school, right? Look at that. I knew he had told me about it. And that night, they had the winter dance. She had been working all week, working out the courage to actually go and talk to him. And she was going to ask him, and he would go with her to the prom the next year, right? Before graduation. Well, what do you know? He shows up with his girlfriend from college. And she was devastated. Now, guess who is the first person she called? Now, my wife doesn't know this, so please don't say anything. She doesn't know. She picked up the phone and called me. I was at my conference in New Orleans, and she called me. I was crying, and I was happy. And I was crying, and I was happy at the same time. I didn't know what to do. I was crying with her when we talked about what happened, how she was crushed. But the fact that she actually picked up the phone and called me, and she doesn't know, but in between crying, I was dancing in my hotel room. My daughter called me. Hey, you talked to your mom? Not yet. She called me first. And I was like, oh my God. Now, what do I say? How many of us have been there? I don't know. So I just asked her questions. How do you feel? What do you think you're going to do next? I know you were prepared. And now it's just a big crush, right? Happy that I was there available for her. And that's been a rule. We don't punish physically because we want him to be open mind with us, right? And that's one of the reasons we try to strive for. So they can feel that they can talk to us about pretty much anything. So that's what we've been practicing in our house. And I'm happy to say so far, we haven't got an issue with drugs. Yeah, my son got super drunk. And yeah, he was 17 and he got drunk. We had to go pick him up at Beaumont Royal, right? And we have to have the talk. But he was not afraid to admit that he had made a mistake. Because we had never punished them for anything. We always let them talk. And after that, he hasn't touched one single drop of alcohol. That's what he tells me. Okay? And I believe him, right? I have to believe him. So, being able to allow our kids to talk to us is very, very important to us about anything. And I realized when I was growing up that if I was being a smack, I did not want to talk. That was the last person I wanted to talk to. And that was always been one of our rules. No, we want them to talk. It doesn't matter what it is. Because think about it. If they don't talk to us parents, who are they going to talk to? The classmates? I guess they have all the answers, right? So that's good. They should go to the classmates, right? Well, no. These guys, who else are they going to talk to? Google? Give me a break. Google, what does Google know? Although everybody thinks Google knows something. It doesn't. So who would you rather them talking to? And I tell you, you have to learn to bite your tongue and don't say anything. But I'd rather have it that way than them not talking to us. So this is one of the rules, And the other one we learned, and we did this, is very important, is we show love. And you know what is that makes an impact? And I see that with my kids now. When I go and I tell them I want to talk to, this is what I started doing when they were little. They came and they wanted to play. How many of you like football? Soccer? Love soccer, don't you? Basketball, baseball.
Cricket. Ask about cricket.
Cricket. Oh, who loves cricket? Oh my goodness. Who loves cricket? Now, in the middle of not the national, but I know they do the world championship, right? In the middle of the championship, your child comes and tells you he wants to play. What will you do? Wait, the championship's going. Please don't interrupt me now. We made the rule that it didn't matter what we were doing, we were going to stop. And we were going to go and take care of the child. And that's been a rule ever since. And thank God for DVR, because now we can record everything. And my kids laugh, because I love soccer. And I record soccer, and all I do is watch the goals. Oh, goal. Go back. Oh, great. That's it. I just watch the goals. But I will stop. Turn my computer off. Turn my phone off. Put it upside down so I will see it more. And I'll try to sit down and talk to them. And guess what? I get it back now. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she's playing this game that they play nowadays, right? They got all these computers now with all these games, and you buy these characters that have different qualities, and you do this, that, and she showed me all this stuff. And, hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. She stopped the game, closed the computer. And I was like, yes. To me, it's the greatest thing ever. She's 20 years old. She doesn't have to do that, right? You can tell me that. I don't have time right now. You can go. Sorry, I'll talk to you later. But we started 20 years ago. And we said, this is what we're going to do. It doesn't matter what it is. I will stop so I can show them that I love them. And another important thing I learned too. I learned this later on. It was that I need to be able as a parent to separate what they do from who they are. Okay? It's very different. We all make mistakes, right? And that's my test. I usually tell them, I don't know. But I'm thinking something along these ways, and I talk to them about it. All I know, and I tell my kids this, I cannot walk on water. Can anybody walk on water? In other words, I'm not perfect. But I'll tell you what, let's talk about what's been going on right now. And we realize that, that really helps set the environment for us to have open dialogue with kids, even in things they're planning to do. And we have got shocked a few times, 2 times in the last few months from our daughter. How frank she was talking to us. And to be honest, we didn't know what to say. We just looked at her and say, okay, we see where you're coming from. Thanks for letting us know. But we have to have our own talk as parents and decide what we're going to say next because we didn't know. But we were blessed that she was actually felt open to tell us, those good things. And we're still glad because we were able to have a dialogue about it later, right? And it was, trying to show the fact that, yes, we all make bad decisions, right? Who hasn't made a bad decision here? I tell you, it's all over. Now, this is the thing. Do your parents, and be honest, do your parents know all the bad things you have done? Mine never found out. My parents don't know. My dad probably knows more than my mom, but now they don't. And when we try to control something, we think we are in power and we have the control of things. It's when we actually lose our kids. Case in point, I'm doing a physical on a 17-year-old. Okay? The mom is sitting there. I got this physical. I do always a physical in front of the parent. And then we have a talk. Parents have to leave. I have to ask them, are you using products? Are you being sexually active? Because I want to know to help you, right? Do I need to test you for HIV? Are you using drugs? I can help you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
So like I was saying, learn to distinguish. I used to be told, yeah, you did it on purpose. Honest, Mom, I don't know. I didn't do it. I didn't even know. But I got blamed. And trust me, I've never seen a kid that is doing it on purpose. A lot of times they're just trying to find their way, right? Trying to figure out life. That's all it is. So my child is not a bad person. It just doesn't know how to make right choices yet. And I have to be there to help them. So I learned to separate the kid from the action. Okay? They did something that was not right, yes, but that doesn't mean they were doing intentionally or on purpose. 99% of the time they don't even know the difference. Then I want to be able to say, yes, I love you, no matter what. And sometimes they have to tell them I'm disappointed on the choices you make. And that way my child knows that I do love them no matter what. And I tell them I can help you with anything except two things, right? Taxes and debt. We can get out of that one. I can help you there, taxes, I'll be in jail. All right? And debt, well, that's the final thing. There's nothing I can do there. So I cannot help you with those two things. But I can help you with everything else. We work something out. We'll figure something out. And I learned that early on as a parent, I have to be able to make that distinction. Yes, we all have made wrong choices. And another one that is very powerful, I gotta tell you this though, because I just had that experience a month ago. I had to sit down, talk to my daughter, and ask for forgiveness. As a parents, we do make mistakes too. And when they see that, they realize that, yeah, we're humans and we have done mistakes. My kids know some of the wrong things are done that my wife doesn't know. Okay? But I have to tell them, listen, I'm glad I'm alive, but I did a couple of stupid things in my life. But thank God I'm still here. And I have to tell them. And the other one is because I am faulty as a human being. I cannot walk on water. You know, I have made a mistake and I have to ask for forgiveness. And I tell you that there is nothing more powerful in your heart than asking somebody for forgiveness. And I have felt so at peace for the last month, knowing that I made peace with my daughter on something that I did that was wrong. And I have to admit it. So I just want to pass that along to you because I see those patients, and my heart breaks. How did you grow up? What happened when you grew up? And they tell me all these stories. It's really hard not to cry because a lot of them had no chance. A broken home, a father that was never there, a mother that was already dealing drugs. We have patients that will have to get their siblings to go down the street asking the neighbors for food. Really sad. And sometimes we give ourselves a false sense of security, right? Oh, that's not happening to my kids. I'm home, I provide for them, but there's still a world out there that they're exposed to. And I always think what we do at home will really make the difference. And one of our other goals was, the last one was, if our kid needs something, we want him to always come home. Always. Something happens, it doesn't matter what it is. We want our kids to know they can always come home and talk to us. We have this door open. See, it doesn't matter what it is. We can sit down, we can talk about it, right? We want you to leave another day to make better choices. And that's what we tell them. And that's something that I will pass on to you to think about that. It's probably very little you already don't know you don't do. I just wanted to tell you the experience I've seen, because seeing these patients struggle with addictions is really, really heartfelt. And it just breaks your heart. Because a lot of them don't even know what growing up in a normal home is. Some of them never had a home that we know as normal. But I do have those patients, though, that they had everything. They had everything. And you still wonder, how is it that they ended up here? So it can happen. It can happen to one of us. So my message to you is, love your kids. Be always an open book. Admit, that we are humans too. We make mistakes. And that way we can all grow together and help each other, right? Be not only a strong family, but also make our communities and our country a better place to live. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. And again, on behalf of IAGD, I would like to thank you, Dr. Gomez, again, because taking the time out on a weekend evening. I know he has a family commitment that he has to go, but I really appreciate that. And this was a very informative session. I hope everyone enjoyed it. In the end, I would like to ask Hafiz Urbani to please come over and do the dua.
Assalamu Alaikum, everyone. I have a couple of announcements to make. There is a bazaar going on tomorrow in the gym from 2 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Yes, I just wanted to let everybody know. I do have another announcement for everyone. Ladies, I came up with an idea of giving some funds to IAGD's expansion project. You guys all know there's a fundraiser coming up on December 11th, inshallah. So I thought of this when I was at my jewelry box at the bank the other day, right? We all have some pieces that we do not want or are broken. Maybe you have one piece. Oh, gold. I'm sorry. So let's donate gold. Let me start again, right? I'm thinking that we all have some gold pieces that we don't want, or have some broken pieces that we think we're going to go to India or Pakistan to get it fixed that we never do. So if you guys want to think about that and donate some of those for the expansion, I actually thought of that this afternoon and bought some bags so we can put them in there. And if you put a card and your name in there, we will send you a message to let you know how much we raised. So I thought this way we women can connect and figure out, we can do a fundraising expansion part ourselves. Any questions? Oh, great. It went perfect.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين الحمد لله.
Jazakallah Hamid. So this concludes our program. Inshallah, Isha is at 8 o'clock. Everyone, thank you very much for attending. Inshallah, we will see you all next month. Inshallah.